Dope makes you dope.
What is dopamine?
And how does it work?
Stay tuned to find out.
This is the Hear Him Out Show, a show we created for men to be heard, where women are welcome to listen.
Yo, what's good, beautiful people? This is your boy Monty, a.k.a. Mr. Motivation.
And I am Shakim. Blessings.
And this is the Hear Him Out Show, a place for men to be heard, where women are welcome to listen.
And our aim is to speak truth, add value, and offer a perspective that has the opportunity to lead to growth and elevation. Okay, so this episode is titled Dope Makes You Dope because I wanted to do an in-depth examination of dopamine, how we can use it in our favor instead of becoming pawns of it.
Oh, okay. We're about to take the educational route. Okay, brother, let's break it down.
Yeah, this is the Negro Science. It's provided to you by Shakim Institute. So I started getting into dopamine because I started realizing that I was becoming a slave to it.
Ooh.
Now, becoming a slave to it means transparency. Moment of transparency.
Okay, let's do it.
All transparency. I had a problem with porn. Porn is dangerous.
A lot of us, fellas, let's hear him out. A lot of us, okay?
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I had a problem with that one. I have a very high sex drive. I haven't really been with a woman who matches that. It was like a whole thing. And so I had a problem. And my problem was my value systems were skewed. And so dopamine is not just the feel-good chemical in the brain. A lot of people think that dopamine is when you open up Instagram and you see the red hearts and everything, and it's like you click and it's blah, blah, and it's dopamine. Not necessarily. That's a very small percentage of what dopamine is. Dopamine is a chemical in the brain that is inextricably attached to your motivations, to your value systems, to where you're going and how you're going to get there. And so your dopamine doesn't necessarily start revving up when you open up Instagram. It starts revving up when you start thinking about how you're going to open up Instagram and you're going to feel these things and you're going to see these big booties shaking and you're going to maybe get a little bit of a good word from your favorite motivational speaker, and your dopamine is revving when you're considering opening up Instagram.
So it's like the anticipation?
It's like the anticipation of the reward, the anticipation of the pleasure.
Oh, that makes sense.
So so if human beings are going to be pleasure seekers, which we will be no matter what, I don't care how stoic you are. I don't care what background you come from. I don't care how much sex is repressed in your house. We are naturally sexual beings and we are pleasure seeking. And so why not just use that to our advantage? I know Tantra is still very taboo in our community.
Hold up, get comfortable. Here it is. Break it down, brother. Tantra. Okay,
yeah, we've been studying Tantra.
Let's go.
Yeah. So we've been thinking outside the box. I started studying Tantra thinking I was going to learn about sex, but I really learned about the interweaving of pleasure and life forthcoming through everything.
So you mean to tell me Tantra just ain't about like how to get in these freaky positions to like make your girl come faster?
It's an idea. It's the beginning of it.
Okay.
The idea is that
I gotta tap into that because I thought it was just doing a Boston crab position and all that. But
it's doing the frog leap, baby boy. Okay, this is how I have conceptualized Tantra so far. Is that we are pleasure seeking beings, and when we have sex, we are functioning at our optimal form of focus, understanding, empathy, etc. And so that is a process of you and a person bringing forth life. Okay. So every cell, every atom, every living thing on the earth is in some type of way bringing forth life all the time. So you have mycelium connections between trees, and you have bees that are taking pollen from one flower to another, bringing forth life. All these things are bringing forth life. So when you look at the world in an anatomic structure, everything's fucking all the time. So
Hold up. Hear him out. Hold up.
Hear me out.
I'm over here like really listening. Like I'm really learning shit in real time. I feel like I'm back at college. I'm like, okay, this is dope. Imagine if your teacher in school is just like, yes, anatomically, da-da-da-da-da. So basically everybody's fucking at all times.
It's the truth. You look at a table like this.
Yeah.
And it looks solid.
But it's fucking.
Scientists have already proven that it's just a bunch of atoms swirling around each other so slow that it creates a structure that seems solid. But really, you look at it close enough and it's liquefied. It's not solid. Things are just rotating and circulating at different levels of density.
Okay.
And so the higher it's functioning, the more transparent it seems. And then vice versa. So I say all that to say that even this table right now, in some way, is being fucked. But that's because the world is built on harmony. This was a crazy thing for me to realize. Everything in life is coming forth all at one time, all the time. So everything is being birthed all the time. And so I said this to a woman who I was dating. I said, okay, our automatic inclination, because we're pleasure-seeking beings, is to fuck right off the bat.
Right.
But that's because you're
So that's not a bad thing. Just real quick.
Nah.
So it's not a bad thing. So it don't make me a pervert, right? Right. So if fellas, if you in the dating period and the first thing to come to your mind is I want to hit that, that's not necessarily a bad thing.
No, it's not a bad thing. It means that you're attracted to the person, and attracted means magnetized to the person, and we automatically cognize being magnetized to a person as being we need to have sex with them.
Right.
But the true truth is that we want to bring life forward with them, like everything is always bringing forth life. So it doesn't have to be through sex. We can shoot a movie together. We can create an idea together. We can bring forth life together in a lot of different ways.
Okay, pause. Now that's something that's dope. Let's meditate on that for a little bit. All right, all silliness aside, I love how you said it can bring forth life in different ways. You know what I'm saying? You do a movie together.
Yeah.
You write a song together. You write a book together. That's all bringing to life something that wasn't previously there. So I challenge fellas, think outside the box a little bit. Because it is normal. Women, y'all may or may not get this. Because y'all say y'all want sex just as much as dudes. No, y'all don't. Okay? We going to talk about that another time.
Yeah.
But like dudes, it is hard not to be like, yo, I'm attracted to you. I want to hit that. I want to get that. It's hard not to do that on a regular basis. But if you're saying because of this whole connection and this need to bring life forward, if we can maybe shift our thinking and change our perspective to bringing life outside of the realm of sex, then I don't know, that might forge, stronger bonds and connections.
Forges very strong bonds, man. And I experienced it creating something with my homegirl at the observation of what we created. It felt like a win. It felt like triumph. It felt like
Was that hit of dopamine you talking about?
Yeah, that was the dopamine. So that dopamine, that feeling of triumph, man, that's what we're really looking for. And instead of perversing it and getting the quick little shots of it that are so conveniently and consistently offered to us, if we step outside the box and just widen our perspective a little bit, we can use reward systems to completely restructure our lives towards success.
I love that. So that's my shit now. Yeah. When we talk about awards, this is what we do. Like, I'm learning stuff from my brother in real time, okay? Now, there was a lot of deep stuff, but what I'm going to take away is everybody and everything at all times, for all time, is bringing forth life or fucking.
Hey.
Moving on. So,
hey, that's our thesis for the day.
So when you talk about a reward system, I love that. This is the simplest stuff. I know this is super elementary, right? I love making lists, right? I got so much stuff to do, and I don't know about y'all, but sometimes you can get overwhelmed or you can create anxiety. I don't know if you struggle with that, put that in the comment section if you struggle with anxiety, especially as a man with the weight that we have to carry, especially if you're a good dude and you got to take care of your family, you got to make sure your lady is seen, you got to take care of your kids and all that. It could be really heavy, right? So my dopamine hits when I make this list. I got to do this, and this. Every time I cross something out on that, it's a reward system. Every time I cross something out, even this, right? So anytime we get together and we shoot an episode and we complete, I'm like, yo, I feel good. I go buy something. I'm about to go eat. I'm about to do something. So I love the idea of having a reward system, doing something, setting a goal, accomplishing it, and then rewarding yourself and getting the proper dopamine hit rather than that instantaneous pleasure from porn or something like that.
Yes, because I think one of the trickiest things about getting your dopamine hit is when you're relying on external sources to give it to you or to structure it for you. So that's a beautiful thing that you just said. I'm going to do the same. We came today. We had a hard time getting here. Obviously, all three of us, just so y'all know, had a rough morning. And so once we got here, I promised myself that once we complete these, I'm going to turn my phone off. I'm going to light one up.
Facts.
I'm going to put on my orchestral music, and I'm going to put on the fight. And I'm going to lock myself away from the world and fill myself up, because those are the things that fill me up. Now, that brings me to the next point. What are the things that fill you up?
Oh, good question.
That's a hard thing to ask a man, because most men are spending their lives providing for other people and not themselves. And I know that's hard, fellas. I almost fell into that trap, forgetting to provide for myself. And before you know it, you're empty. And at the end of the day, you have nothing to even offer your ascension process. And so I would like for everybody to write out 4 things in the comment section. Men, I'm not leaving y'all out, women. This is just for us right now.
Yeah. We need this.
I would like for our kings to each write out 4 things that brings them the absolute pleasure that they wish they could experience consistently. Even if it's weird. Because when I tell you mine, it's gonna be weird. I like to chill with trees and swing my machetes and play my.
And he
little
means swing his machete, not swing his machete. Just for emphasis.
yeah.
The boy got a real machete. The brother got a legit machete. All right?
Hey, even worse. Both. Sometimes I close my drapes, turn my lights off, and I nakedly swing my. But it's because it makes me happy. So look,
Dude,
if I'm
what makes you happy, dog? Get that dopamine.
and I'm putting everything on the line because my machete's real. So I say all that to say I'm willing to be weird and transparent with y'all. So be weird and transparent with yourself. What's something that brings you pleasure that you probably don't get to experience as often, or nobody else can provide for you? You probably think it's a little abstract.
And you know what? Let's do this. Let's not get too crazy, right? We all would love to travel and to go on a big trip and like go to the Super Bowl or some shit, right? Simple pleasures, right? So I'm a new dad. And so my mornings used to be very much me, right? My lady, I'm an early riser. My lady's not an early riser. So I typically wake up at least a couple hours early. So before I had kids, I was able to just wake up, and one of my favorite simple pleasures, a good oat milk latte, triple shot, hot, just enough foam, my journal, my AirPods, some music. That's such a simple pleasure. Just to be able to wake up and to go and just have that moment for myself. I enjoy reading. I enjoy journaling. I enjoy having a good cup of coffee. I love the smell of it. Like, that's my simple pleasure. And since I became a new dad, at first it was really hard because I've been doing that for so long. Now I'm waking up, I'm changing diapers, I'm feeding, I'm washing bottles, I'm soothing, right? I'm doing all those things. And I had to switch it. Now that's a different kind of pleasure. But now my lady knows, like, yo, I'll do all of this. I'll wake up early. I'll do whatever shift, but I'm going to need an hour later to go to the coffee shop as a reward system for myself for being a stand-up dude and a stand-up dad. You know what I'm saying?
I think that's beautiful.
And it's a simple thing, right? Yeah. Like I could be a piece of shit and be like, no, you deal with them. No, I'm gonna make sure I put in the work. So now we have an understanding that, look, you know my simple pleasure. I'm just gonna go be by myself. I'm gonna pour into myself because that allows me to pour into my family more.
Shit,
and that's
man, that's a master key. That's a please repeat that for the homies in the back.
It's okay. This is a little side note. I know we're going off a little bit, but I feel like the spirit, the universe is saying something, y'all. I want y'all to, anybody in a relationship, right? All right, fellas, hear me out. It's a give and take. Ask yourself this question: what would it cost? Right? So because we're not the ones who carry the kids, because we're not the ones in most cases that are responsible for the rearing of the child in the beginning, we can kind of relatively so keep our lifestyle the same, right? It's like I see my wife, it's a completely different shift. And it took me a month or two to really understand it. But now I know, wow, it's a complete different shift. So I have to ask myself, what's the give and take? I can't go to the coffee shop for 3 or 4 hours, but I can go to the coffee shop for an hour. After I make sure I'm helping my wife out with my kids and giving her a break for these couple of hours. That's beautiful. You know what I'm saying? We want to it's hard for us not to take, right? So what you want to do is just like, yo, okay, I'm going to do X, Y, Z to make sure this is taken off your plate. All I ask in return is to have this little bit. And I find, at least in my relationship, in my marriage, that works really well. And so that's a great reward system for me because it's like, no matter what's going on, yo, oh, cool, I'm going to be able to get that little simple pleasure for myself. So just a little bit of relationship advice, y'all. Ask yourself, what is it going to cost for me to give a little so that I can have? And in fact, if you really want a healthy marriage, I'm going to give a lot. I'm going to give twice as much as what I'm asking for. When I'm saying, yo, you go away, I'm going to take care of the kids for the next 3-4 hours, just go chill. All I ask is for an hour and a half to do my thing. I find that in most situations, your lady's going to be like, yeah, okay. But if you got to do all of that and I'm still going to go do what I got to do, it's not going to work. So it's just a little side note. I think that might be helpful to people out there.
I think every man in the world, good man, nice guy, fuck boy, every
right.
demographic of male needs to hear that, because I think that's a big part of the maturation process, is realizing that you can't show up for the people you love at 100% your capacity if you're not filling yourself up somehow. And everybody's fill up is different.
And y'all, the greatest dopamine hit, y'all, let me tell y'all, is a healthy ass relationship. If shit ain't right at home, it ain't gonna be right anywhere else. It's gonna go with you. So if you talk about dopamine, you talk about a reward system. For me personally, my greatest reward system is knowing my family's taken care of, my relationship is on good terms, and I still have time to pour into myself and have those simple little pleasures.
Man, that's beautiful, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna say I can't wait.
No, wait. It ain't easy.
But I am looking forward to that level of selflessness. That's beautiful.
Yeah, it's dope.
Well, I will say, so along with that, everybody list your 4 things of pleasure, whether it's journaling, whether it's sitting by a tree, whether it's taking a walk.
Music. Some people love music.
Yeah.
Getting a massage.
Getting
going
a
to
massage.
brunch. Having a drink.
Hey, I just realized, like, pedicures are great. Like, they feel great. So I say, write these things down, make them tangible, and then find a way to inculcate them into your consistent schedule. Yeah. And say, I'm going to write this many pages, and then I'm going to go have my day. I'm gonna do however many episodes we're gonna do, and then I'm gonna have my day. And then allow it to be your space. That's another tricky thing about being a man. A lot of times we want to share these good moments with either the homies or with women.
Yeah.
But allow this to happen with yourself, because solitude is powerful. You know?
Stillness.
Yeah.
Just being with yourself. Like literally today, I got my 5 workouts in. So now I get a cheat meal. I'm about to order me some pizza.
Ooh, let's
I'm about
go.
to order me some pizza and all the fixings, but I've earned it. I've said I'm not going to have junk food, right? I'm not going to have any sweets until I accomplish 5 workouts that week. So until that 5 workouts get done, I don't get to have what I want. And so that's the reward system.
You'd be surprised how hard you train in those 5 workouts.
Facts.
When you know that meal is waiting for you at the end of the week.
Facts.
So instead of just running ourselves into the ground, how about we set up some systems for ourselves so that we can constantly rejuvenate ourselves? Because that brings me to the next main point, which is momentum is the true currency.
Oh, facts.
I'm sharing something that I got from a very important teacher, that we think down here that currency is cars and real estate and money and all the precious metals. But the true currency is momentum. And if you can find a way to build and generate your momentum without the help of other external things, you are going to be a mastermind. You will be a monster. And there's ways to generate your momentum. One is to say, I'm going to read 30 pages. I'm going to finish writing this short, and I'm going to finish that song that's been sitting in the drive forever.
Facts.
And when I do all those things, I'm going to have my day by the tree with my fruit and my books and my journal and my music, and nobody's going to be able to touch me. And I promise you, it gets done. And by doing that, you refill yourself and you come back to your schedule.
Facts.
A more evolved version of yourself. And before you know it, you're boom, boom, boom. And that work is going to send you out of here. I promise you.
That's a beautiful
start to
thing.
evolve. And then, fellas, I'll say this too. Women can smell a real man from a mile away.
Oh.
And the moment you start putting that work in on yourself, you start walking different. Your skin is glowing different.
That's where that confidence comes from. That's where that, you're him comes from. And they see that because you've poured into yourself and you've built yourself up. You've gotten the proper dopamine hits, not diminishing yourself, just watching porn or smoking all the time or eating a bunch of junk food. Like shit, that's going to make you the least possible productive. You know what I'm saying? Because
after you do watch that porn, I was right here with you, dog. After you watch that porn and you release, there's something called a refractory period. And the refractory period is something that happens every time a male releases its life force. And that means that your body has to take the time to rebuild itself from scratch, to rebuild the life force from scratch. And every time you're rebuilding, I need you to consider that you could have done something more beneficial with that time, with that energy, with that life force. I'm going to call you out on it because I had to call myself out on it.
I love it.
You could have done something that was worth a damn. So, benefiting from our dopamine, understanding how it works, figuring out how to generate our momentum on our own. It's a chemical in the brain that's not going nowhere. We're never going to not be pleasure-seeking. So why not use the pleasure-seeking inclinations to build our own momentum, to start that business you've been waiting to start, to do these things that are going to get us to the version of ourselves that we know we can be.
Love it. Yo, dopamine is dope. So the segment of the day, self-love tip. What we got?
So today the self-love tip is to consider the difference between award and reward. Award is something that's given to you by somebody else.
Ooh.
Reward is something that we can provide for ourselves.
Ooh.
That's a triumph that we can provide for ourselves. So how can we acutely design pleasure to be a reward system for ourselves that can send us upward and onward towards the sun in our journey of success? Because there's a weird little concept that pleasure is demonized and suppressed, But what if it's the secret weapon to your success?
Facts.
And you've just been structuring it wrong. So acutely design your reward system. And you know, mine is right now I'm celibate till I get $500,000. That's one of mine. And when I tell you, when that shit hits my account after taxes, oh man, somebody's getting their back blown out. So let's just end it right there. You know,
it's that self-love. And that's the segment, y'all. Self-love. You can't wait for outside validation. Start to reward yourself, all right? Now, before we end, we like to do a little something here. We like to clear the space. We like to leave y'all in a better state than you were when you came to us, and we like to leave the actual space in a better condition than we left it. How are we going to do that today?
I brought my chime so that I can attune those top 2 chakras. Everything we just said, I think is going to play a big role. These chimes right here.
Let's get it. All right, y'all. Thanks for vibing with us. This has been the Hear Him Out Show, a place for men to be heard, but women are welcome to listen.
And our aim is to speak truth, add value, and offer a perspective that has the opportunity to lead to growth and elevation.
Woo! We love y'all. Until next time, Ashe.